Aquarius, welcome Aquarius to your Aquarius January 2022 reading and predictions. I am Nigel Saint James. For those of you who are stopping by for the first time and for the subscribers, well, great to see you. I hope you're doing well, keeping well. I love seeing you each month. Now, as a subscriber, you know that I've produced the annual calendar year 2022 reading, and you can find that on my playlist. It uses 12 cards, one for each month of the year. It's very easy to find. Even a baby could find it, as many babies have told me. There's only about 3 or 4 things on the playlist, and the 2022 calendar reading is one of them. Now, let me look at this deck. You know how I use a lot of astrology in the readings and numerology. Now, this month it's going to be different because this deck, for some reason, it works with me on the basis that I act as a sort of I see the image and I, if you like, channel information which is coming through from centers of consciousness which are beyond this realm. How does that happen? I don't know. It just does. So what I would ask you to do is to listen to the words, but listen to the words that are between the words, because I will have reference to the mystery religions of the ancient world from Rome and Greece, Egypt, India, and other places, and what there will be there, and the mysteries which were associated with them, some of which, fortunately, as a result of archaeology, have come to light now, and which are available to be found by those in the know. Now, so I'd ask you to do that, so it'll be a bit different in that respect. Now, the annual reading, which is on the playlist, uses 12 cards. We're going to take 5 now, because that's all we're going to need. So let's see what there are. There is the Princess of Cups, nice young girl. This is the 4 of Wands. What's this? That's the Ace of Wands. Something from in here, shall we? Let's have a look at that. Princess of Swords. Sure, she's a very popular young woman. And there is, that's more my style, the Queen of Wands. Well, I say more my style, I shouldn't say that. All women are beautiful. Women are like kryptonite to me. I can't resist. Nevertheless, why don't we now? Well, what we will do as usual is this, is that I'll ask you to come and sit down next to me. We'll have a good close look at the cards together, and I'll do the reading for you. Here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start here, smack in the middle with the Ace of Wands. What a great card. Probably my favourite card. Well, I've got so many favourites. Now, this is Egyptian. Actually, there's an Egyptian theme running throughout a lot of these. Let's have a look here. Now, although ancient Egypt had several creation myths, most of them agree that in the beginning there was a chaotic dark water and the world began when the sun rose for the first time over this ocean. This was called the first occasion. Now, out of darkness rose light. The sun and the force that caused it to rise would remain important symbols throughout the ancient Egyptian world for millennia. Now, the Ace of Wands in the tarot is really the tarot equivalent of the sun rising on the first day. It is the force of vital spark and generative power that kickstarts all processes of creation. It is therefore and thereafter necessary for the perpetuation of existence. It is energy in all its forms and is even more necessary than breath or food for there to be a need for those things, the necessity for that which sparks the creation and perpetuation of life at its most basic must be fulfilled. Now, elementally, the Ace of Wands is associated with fire. Therefore, it is the highest, but also most abstract of the elements. It is closest to the spirit, yet the most fundamental force for us all.
Now, on an abstract level, the Ace of Wands is the energetic forces in your life, power and a sense of self, personality and ego. And on a more ordinary level, it is all the forces that you engage with that allow you to move forward and create. Drive, desire, ambition, will, power, inspiration, yearning, and passion. Now, what is the mystery that is associated with this? You were born from the desire of the universe to be not one, but many. To give you form, you were raised from the red earth. But to give you spirit, you were pulled from the stars. Your becoming is inspiration in its truest sense. At the moment you took your first gasp of air, you inspired sucking deep of life. This first inspiration taught you to want, to yearn, to desire. And you unconsciously know that you need to feed the fire within as much as you need the air to breathe and the ground beneath your feet. I am the vigor that pulses through you, the implacable and tenacious desire to live and thrive, demanding and desirous of everything the world has to offer. I am your need to consume and to rise towards the heavens. Your birthright is not beneath you or passed down in legacy. It is above you, inside you, and all around you. You are not a creature of clay, but one ensouled and enshrined, and your place of origin and destination is beyond all that you can see. Now, you will deviate from this knowledge as you tread the years, but a moment will come that reminds you this is true inspiration. You will forget that you are star-born, and the darkness around you may overwhelm you. But the sun does not die at midnight, and you must remember that you have the magic of all creation within you. You are a god in human form, enthroned in your place upon the world. Three, two, one. I am the flame within you and the fuel that feeds it so that you may thrive. I am the energy you expend and create and the driving force behind all things. You seek divine inspiration, but to be inspired is not to be gently coaxed into the attaining of desire. It is to be set on fire. Yep, I love the Wands suit. Now let's have a look at this Four of Wands. This looks like we're going Egyptian again here. And we will sit and walk like an Egyptian. Now, this scene is one of celebration and consolidation of power. The new pharaoh has been crowned and praised by the people who give thanks at the base of a temple in which the coronation is taking place. The wands of power surround him at the four directions, adorned with flower garlands, and the pharaoh carries a crook and flail of kingship, items that are frequently depicted in Egyptian imagery, either held crossed over the chest of the pharaoh or by gods associated with kingship, such as Osiris. The pharaoh is undergoing a baptism administered by the gods themselves. Now, the timing of this scene, I think, is vitally important because it is taking place at sunset. during the time of the harvest following the annual inundation of the Nile. That's where the Nile floods, and particularly into the delta which runs into the Mediterranean Sea. Now, during the inundation, the Nile would flood, allowing its rich minerals to be deposited on the land, which was enriched by these nutrients. Now, when it receded, the crops would grow and the harvest be plentiful. Now, these crops can be seen on the card image, rising tall behind the pharaoh, the red Nile snaking off into the distance. As this is a card of completion, it is right that it be set at sunset, I think, a time for enjoying what has been experienced and learned throughout the day, and to ready oneself for night time. Now, the mystery is that I have made my inexorable journey across the sky, and with the sunset have begun to descend. But do not know me as weak or fading, for the path I have wrought in fire and urging will wind its way across the landscape of the universe for aeons to come. My work is done, yet it is not yet done. My completion is not the end, but merely a foundation for greatness. Beneath my feet I have set steps leading down and a firm platform rising to the heights. Before me is arrayed the harvest of my labors, and I see with joy what my accomplishments have brought. This is the essence of joy in abundance, to see your work and know its virtue, to form it and manifest it, to consolidate its power and fuel it for the journey ahead. For work begets work, just as my descent into the dark begets another birth. I am the prince of uniting. In me are chaos and order, love and war together. Their union creates life and power. The sunset calls to me and bids me look upon my lands and their abundance. Feel the support of the red earth beneath my feet, and know that though I am at an ending, there are many more dawns to come. And until then, I celebrate and proclaim my joy for the world. Behold what I have made. Well, sticking to the wands theme, let's look at the wands card underneath. Oh, this is also Egyptian by the look of it. Is that who I think it is? Yes, it is. Okay, let's have a look. Now, the Queen of Wands is the ancient Egyptian goddess Hathor. And she was the Egyptian goddess of celebration, joy, drunkenness, and beauty. Her cult was one of the most popular in Egypt, understandably, I suppose, and assimilated the worship of many other goddesses over time. Now, here we have Hathor in her most common form, enthroned in her temple with her sacred animals, cats, around her. Her priestesses performing this sacred dance to their lotus-blossomed goddess. Now, most of the priests and priestesses of Hathor were musicians, dancers, and performers. For both Hathor and the Queen of Wands, who holds the sacred sistrum, that rattle of Hathor, the act of dance, music, and celebration, well, it was then seen as being a sacred act, as it channels energy, passion, and desire into the physical world, mimicking the enchanting flow of both fire and water. Now, when we dance, we call upon a deeper, more primal part of ourselves and follow its beat. The Queen of Wands urges you to find the nature and focus of your inner desires, yearnings, and sensual self, and to bring it out into the open, to allow it to thrive. Restriction of any kind is a sin for this queen. She also urges you to find connection with others and to share yourself openly with them. Now, as for her mystery, I think what we might say, I think she says, "Sing my hymns, play my music, and let my priestesses dance in the temple. I am the Lady of Jubilation, the Golden One, the Lady of Unending Drunkenness, the one who fills the sanctuary with joy. Drink deeply of my intoxicating wine, breathe deeply of my perfumed skin, and live deeply in the life that is gifted to you. You desire me, and I desire your worship, your love, your devotion. Your worship feeds me, but in turn it feeds you. To be enchanted, to follow beauty, to allow yourself desire, nurtures you in every way. You are a charmed being, created from stardust, and clothed in sunlight, and blessed by moonlight. Know that your desire and yearning, your urge for beauty, comes from the most divine part of yourself. This is why you prostrate yourself before me. But I too desire, and it is you I long for. The path to me appears easy, but none could be more difficult. To give completely of yourself, to allow yourself to be drunk on life, ecstatic with every new day, is my charge and my challenge to you. Call to me, and I will see desire well up within you. Call to me, and I will nurture your heart of joy and song. Call to me, and I will teach you the dance of intoxication and fascination. My name in your heart and on your lips is the sweetest music to me, for then I know you are mine, enchanted, intoxicated by the movement of the dance, gazing into the color and beauty of the flames. Every step towards me brings you closer to yourself. Know yourself. Know your divine nature. Know your well of desire. Know the thrust of your passions, and you will be owned by no other but yourself. Well, we go to another lady here, and then, no, we've got all the glamour girls here, haven't we? Let's have a look. This Princess of Swords. You know, like her sisters, the Princess of Swords is the lowest of her court, and the court of wands, of swords, and she performs a vital role. Now, residing in the suit of air, the suit of the mind, thoughts, words, and communication, the earthy role, because esoterically princesses are earth, the earthy role of the princess serves to bring ideas into manifestation and apply theories to the real world and contain wisdom and knowledge. Now, the Princess of Swords represents all the ways in which you store knowledge, ideas, and wisdom, and all the ways your ideas and thoughts impact upon the world around you. She asks you to consider how your words shape your world, for it is in her realm that you find thoughts becoming reality. Now, since she is the youngest of her court, she also brings youth and vigor, representing the beginnings of research sometimes, the foundational steps towards an idea being put to use, plans being made to manifest new ideas and revolutionary ideas that challenge traditionally accepted wisdom. Now, since she is both earth and air, she can correspond with the grounding and containing of the mind, thought, and intellect, or she can correspond with the breaking down of ideas with the application of the mind. Now, as for the mystery that is behind her and now revealed in metaphorical terms is, how many words have you spoken in your years? Did they fall from your mouth accidentally, or were they chosen with care and in the knowledge that every utterance from your lips creates and perpetuates the universe? Words bear the sign of the gods, for they make their mark upon the world for good or ill. Learn to discount nothing in thought and speech. There is magic in these words and in the silence between them, in the intake of breath, the inspiration necessary to fuel them. Now you, like the gods, can speak the divine word, bringing it down to the earth. You need only speak to create reality, to draw down manifestation, your thoughts, and ensure that they cannot be changed. They must be written. Thereafter they may be shown to others and challenged. Writing is as sacred as the speech that precedes it. The act of putting into form your fresh ideas is holy. But what is worthy of note and record? I question continually, for without asking there can be no challenge, no freedom in thought or speech. Never be afraid to ask and question. Challenge every idea, every word. I am the container of all knowledge and wisdom, and it is in my hall that runs the river of knowledge. Here I meet each day with the wanderer, the wise one. We share of the waters of knowledge, and together we create the world anew from debate and conversation. You may not find me in your heart, for I rarely reside in your passions. Find me in the mind and speech of the sages and in the pages of books. There, if you challenge and question, give form to thought and manifest ideas, I will grant you the keys to wisdom. Now, talking about breath, here is, I'm pretty sure, yes it is. This is Psyche. Let's have a look at Psyche. Hello, my darling. Well, Psyche means breath of life, or soul in Greek, and Cupid, her lover, is from Cupido, desire, who's also Eros. Now, Psyche is often represented in art as a butterfly, or given butterfly wings, symbolizing the soul and wonder. She transformed from being someone who exhibits little emotion, blind to her own emotional self, to an awakened soul yearning for eternal love and reunion with the divine. Now, in this image here, we see budding red roses on a bush near Psyche, referring to a Gnostic text in which the first rose is created from the blood of Psyche's virginity on her wedding night, another symbol of her awakening. Now, there is a decorated box behind Psyche. This is the box that she will shortly take with her into the underworld, to Hades, to collect Persephone's beauty and thereby give it to her mother. It places the Psyche of the Princess of Cups in a state of awakening and being in love, while having the final stage of divine ascension yet to come. She has fallen in love with love, seen its true form, but is not yet reunited with it and her divine origin. Now, as to the mystery, we can say perhaps that you pass your time on earth in darkness, blind and veiled. You share this in kind with the greatest of the universe's mysteries, for though you are blinded, you might be unveiled in revelation. To understand this teaching and descend into it, you must know that until now you have been dreaming, entertained by shadows on a wall. You are a divine, and the divine, really, waiting to be born to liberty. I am the way of awakening. It is my feet that trod the first dew-dropped road down the river of the stars and buried into the world the soul, fleeing from its origin. I made it one drop in the ocean of being, one flame in the darkness. I am the breath of life, the soul and the spirit manifest in the cave, encased in wonder and beauty. I am the eyes that look upon the abode of earth with amazement and wonder. I carry within me all joy, pleasure, and vision, for like you I am a mystery enshrined in the temple of flesh. And the universe does not end at my skin. I, in my wonder, found awakening, and in the darkness I held out a flame to behold the divine. There I fell in love with love, and it answered back, falling in love with the soul. The soul is destined to be manifested in flesh, fallen and fragile, yet sacred and eternal. This is the divine paradox, that you are at once the lowest and the greatest in potential. But imagine yourself not as a spirit alone, separated from the far shores of the divine, for you are an ocean teeming with life. You are a river that cannot be stepped into twice. You are the cup from which the world drinks, which is beheld at the moment of revelation, and it is your eyes that behold. Fall in love with love, and you will wonder at the visions that are granted to you. Well, that's the way it is for you this month.
Well, that's January 2022 done for you. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating, I think. Don't you? I think it's going to be a great month for you. And don't you deserve it? You really do. Anyway, some interesting food for thought there, I think, and you know how to do it. Onwards and upwards for you always. Now, remember one thing, and it's one thing to remember until I see you again, and it is this, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.